Well, I'm not proposing that we build these new restrooms in all the buildings currently. I'm saying all buildings that we are constructing in the future should have these restrooms. It should be incorporated into our plans so that all future architects include these. These aren't things that we necessarily need to go out and do right now, because I understand we're at a very hard economic time in Indiana. Our budget's been cut, and that's something that I feel, that's something that I sympathize with a lot. So I believe that as part of fiscal responsibility, we include that as a future plan for Purdue, and a future plan that all architects will include these single-use bathrooms.
Yeah, I believe the first two come under our making campus more accessible. Will has done an awesome job elaborating on the existing technology in classrooms. We can use that technology, the microphones and the projectors, and we can institute closed captioning technology, which has existed, which has been around for a long time, which isn't an expensive thing to implement. As far as the audible crosswalks on campus, I think that you can't put a price tag on safety, you can't put a price tag on accessibility, and those are two things that I strongly support as far as bringing more students with disabilities to campus, and I think just that it's responsible, and it's a good improvement for Purdue. As far as Cecil, for those of you who are not familiar with the Center for Student Excellence and Leadership, it is President Cordova's kind of baby project. I've heard it referred to as the legacy of her presidency. The center will not come at additional fees for students. The center will happen regardless of which one of us is in administration. However, there are five very active members of my campaign team who have worked from the beginning on the center to kind of shape it and really make sure that it benefits the students and has the greatest benefit. Given that President Cordova has committed some money and that we are in the process of raising funds from some high-level donors, I think that we could shape this building into something that would be truly beneficial for students and student organizations. Okay.
You have 3 minutes.
I am student body secretary, and it's not always the best title, but it's fourth in charge of Purdue student government, assuming I remember the Constitution correctly. Just kind of in that position, I've had a lot of opportunities to serve on various university committees, to meet with different administrators alongside President Klein, and I've gotten some invaluable face time with those administrators to where I feel like they know and connect with me on a personal level, and it would be largely beneficial next year, given the opportunity to lead Purdue student government, that I have kind of those pre-existing connections in different departments or divisions around campus. I will, just because I only have 3 minutes, just mention what I've accomplished kind of in the last month. It's been an exciting month for the student body secretary, I guess. The Center for Student Excellence and Leadership has been kind of going through planning stages since just after Christmas last year. And we finally kind of wrapped up and came to one solid consensus, and I was actually charged with writing the committee's final white paper, a 7-page document which has been hand-delivered by Vice President Robinson to President Cordova's desk, as well as sent out to the Board of Trustees, the Provost, and every Vice President at the university. I also have worked on a project called the Boiler Bulletin. If you are familiar with it, 40,000 students just received an email last Monday. That email was written by me, and this project has kind of been my baby since I got on student government. Last year I began advocating for it with Eric Barnard, and finally was able to see that project through to fruition this past week. I got to write the procedures and guidelines for the Boiler Bulletin, which is now a university official document. And I think that I have served the students well as far as improving campus communication, and hopefully serve the student organizations well by helping promote your guys' kind of initiatives and your programming opportunities.
All right, thank you. Will, the same question to you. Please elaborate on your individual position, achievements, and goals.
As Executive Director of Government Relations, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, whether I've been down at the State House before the Indiana State Legislature or at our very own City Hall, I've been a constant advocate for students. This year, the city instituted a neighborhood resource team. They started cracking down on minor violations, like students having their couches out on the front lawn and grass requirement heights. And it's things like that that I came out and I told them, hey, we need education. What we have here is a population of students that changes roughly every 4 years. You can't start slapping students with fines and violations if they don't have the proper education on what their responsibilities are. I went to them and I said, hey, we need better crosswalks. 95% of pedestrian automobile accidents in this county, according to the Tippecanoe County Crash Report, are within a quarter mile of this campus. And it's, hey, that's a problem. That shouldn't be that localized. I've advocated for better crosswalks. I've gone to the city with the mayor and the police chiefs and the city council time and time again and been the voice for the students. You know, we voiced our concern over the over-occupancy ordinance. We talked about the 3 unrelated persons rule. And then more than that, I also, with my running mate, Eddie Van Bogart, helped start some Senate ideas, which I haven't been in the Senate this year, but we talked about fiscal responsibility and transparency within PSG. I helped my running mate write his very first bill that he wrote in the Senate this year for transparency. Thank you.
Thank you.